Let's talk about Linux Air Combat and radar. This is Linux Air Combat version 9.61 from late February of 2024. And the big green round circle thing in the middle of my cockpit is my radar. I turn it on by pressing R. I can turn it off by pressing R. Every time I press R, the radar turns on and off. And when it's on, of course, you see that bright green background normally. My location is always in the exact center of that radar display where the two crosshairs meet. And I can zoom in and out of my radar range by pressing plus or minus of my numeric keypad. Plus zooms me in, minus zooms me out. Or I can do it by pressing home to zoom in and end to zoom out. So zooming in and out, that tells me how far from my location my radar display will draw items. Now, as you notice, some of the items are red and some of the items are blue. That's because my identify friend or foe is active and working properly to identify blue team items with the color blue and red team items with the color R, or with red. I can turn IFF on and off by pressing I. If I turn it off, all those colors go away and I just get shades of gray. It's automatically being turned back on for me because I'm here on the runway. But when it's gray, you can see, you just can't tell which team owns which kind of objects. The shapes, though, are also interesting. The diamond shapes are airfields. The small blue dots are blue bots. The larger blue dots are blue real people, sentients, or blue replay blokes. The tiny red dots are red bots. The larger red dots, like the one that's selected there, are red sentient players or red blokes. And of course the red diamonds
red 20, red 25,
are
red
airfields.
27, red 29.
That's about all you really need to know about the radar. Be sure to zoom it in and out. When you zoom it in, you see more details about a smaller area, so it helps you localize the spatial relationships of things that are close to you. When you zoom it out, you get a larger area of coverage, but of course you get less detail near you. You can zoom it all the way out to 500 kilometers unless you've had some damage that may have damaged your antenna, in which case you'll get less radar range. You can zoom it all the way in to 7 kilometers. And as long as your radar is working, it'll respond to those zoom in and out buttons. You can select a target by pressing T. Every time you press T, a new target is selected. Let me zoom out a little so you can see more about what's going on. I'm zooming out to a range of about 200 miles, or 200 kilometers. Now every time I press T, you see that white dot goes to a different location to highlight whatever you've selected. Let me zoom in a little more so we can get better resolution there. So at 20 kilometer range, every time I press T,
Blue 22.
it's going to select a different object, and sometimes they'll be within range, and sometimes they won't be within range. You can see the little white dot hops around with every time I change to a displayable item within my radar range. You see that white dot hop around. Also, you see on the screen, you get a blue rectangle framing anything that's near you and in your visual range on the blue team.
Red 2024.
And if it's a red team item, you'd see that too, but it looks like I'm on the blue team airfield, so I don't see
Red
any
25,
red team stuff.
27, 28.
Now, the shapes of bombers are different from the shapes of fighters. If there's a bomber on the radar, it'll have a triangular shape. That's new. This is since February of 2024. We've changed the shapes of the icons. Now, airfields are diamonds and bombers are rectangles. That is how we do that. Thank you.